Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, recovering homeless guy. Noticing my long hair, I haven't really looked at it like this in this light in a while. I'm walking home after taking the bus from the Greek festival. It was beautiful. Man, St. Sophia's Church is so beautiful inside. I had no idea, like every inch of it is decorated and ornate. Went in a little tour of it where one of the priests was talking about it. He was a real nice guy and very charismatic, and had a lot of interesting things to say about it. It almost made me wish, like, man, I wish I could I don't wish really I could, go for that stuff, but I'm like, this is a beautiful place to hang out at. If I was really inclined, like, I would just go hang out there. Or even, if there's some, like, here's the thing, Orthodox masses are so freaking long. They are so freaking long. They're like 2 hours. And it's like, yeah, it's fun to be there, but whatever makes people happy. I'm glad they like it, and it's a great community, at least from what I saw. I mean, I don't know, I hate to sound so, like, back and forth, but, I'm skeptical of churches. I don't believe in any of that, but it was a beautiful place. It's a shame the area around it is so car infested and just depressed and just industrialized. There's no vitality. The buses get stuck in traffic. I took the bus there and back. Lots of people taking the bus on that line, the 33. That's one of the 24-hour bus lines in LA because it goes through Venice Boulevard from, like, downtown all the way to Venice Beach, and even sort of up north towards Santa Monica. But it was beautiful being able to go there. I met a friend. He doesn't happen to be Greek, but I invited him out. First time I've ever brought a friend out to a Greek festival. I've only been to 2. And it's funny, I didn't tell him about the one in Northridge, but he's like, yeah, why didn't you tell me? He would have been interested in going. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't tell you. I think I did, but maybe I told him last minute. But it was beautiful. It was cool showing him, like, some of the Greek food, the Greek desserts, helping him pick them out. And like I said, that church was so beautiful. Like, the only thing I can really compare it to, I'm trying to remember the one, St. Nicholas in Northridge. My memory isn't strong of that one. But, like, even the bishop's throne was just insane. The ornateness, how big it was, and everything is, like, gilded and designed. By the way, we should be able to walk in the street like this. This is so much better than having lots of traffic. I'm just walking on the street because I don't want to be stuck on the sidewalks here. They're so narrow and dark. I want to be in the street and joyous in the light, in the headlights of oncoming traffic. Actually, I will step aside as cars come. It was just awesome. Like, I'm still going through DPDR symptoms, which really means my body is in a state of trauma. The symptoms are just a distraction, and I've got to address the body. I'm wearing my Angelo's mom shirt, so people were pointing that out. They thought the shirt was cool. They didn't know who my mom was. And so I danced. Normally I don't dance, but dealing with my, this trauma body I'm in and releasing that tension, I'm less self-conscious. I danced for like 5 minutes and my legs were absolutely worn out. I did so much walking yesterday, so much walking today at the Greek festival. I am done. My legs are cooked. I did it for like 5 minutes, but this little kid, he must have been like 5, came up to me on the dance floor and just stood and, like, pointed at my shirt. And it was so loud, I couldn't really hear him, but I think he said, like, who's that or something. I said, that's my mom. And he just looked at me and walked away. But interactions like that, that's so great. Like, this is what we're missing by just having cars everywhere. Look how much tonnage in cars we have here. And that's not to blame the people for buying cars. I realize people were taking it like that in another video I did like that today, a YouTube short. When I'm talking about that, urbanists know what I'm talking about. Yes, there are certain people, they could abandon their cars and go car free, but I was one of those people too and didn't think about that. So for one thing, I would have liked being called out on that. It would have helped me think more about it. I was in tune with urbanism for a while, but questioned whether I could really give up my car for a bike and public transportation, which absolutely I could. But beyond that, what I'm talking about with cars is we've built a city where you essentially have to have a car to get around. What a waste of space. What are they doing with the cars now? They're just storing them on the street. People don't have enough space. We don't have enough space in the city. All this supposedly free parking costs us millions and millions of dollars, and it costs us so much time because of time stuck in traffic. We don't get to see each other's faces. We don't get to be connected to our cities, to see our neighbors. I've had such great times being out on my bike and seeing friends out, or even in one case, I saw my friend's bike. He has a unique bike. It was locked up somewhere, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, I see your bike outside the Starbucks. Where are you? I'll come say hi." And a few minutes later, he told me, and it was somewhere down the street. So I went over and said hi to him. Stuff like that. I've had friends just, like one friend shout out to me, "Angelo," when she was driving by in her car, but she rides a bike a lot, and we've ridden bikes together. So people miss out on that stuff, and it's because we caved to the car industry and the auto lobbying and convinced ourselves that cars are independents. Cars are good for certain things, but transit is so much better at so many more things. And I think you should be able to have a car if you want, but that's the thing. Be able to if you want, not you have to go into debt to be essentially enslaved to your car because you cannot get around without it. It was pathetic being on Venice Boulevard in the bus that was really busy. We're so much more efficient on the bus than the private vehicle traffic, and yet we're stuck in traffic with them. There should be dedicated bus lanes that enable the bus to go faster, which means more people getting on the bus, more people getting out of their cars, save money, it's more fuel efficient, cleaner air, better environment, less crashes, less stress, less cost. And also, we have all this tons of free parking. People can park free everywhere, yet we can't have free transit. Bullshit. We can have it. Getting all choked up just thinking about it. Oh God, the smell. There's the freeway right behind me, and I'm smelling like some kind of exhaust or runoff. It's just awful. The air is toxic around here. Like I'm literally breathing toxic air and talking casually. Breathe through my nose. Let my nose filter that shit. I'll walk on that nail. There's a car coming behind me. I don't trust them. Somebody was killed, a pedestrian hit by a driver on National and Wesley. Jeez, okay. In Culver City, just a block from where the angry, reactionary, short-sighted conservatives and people who just identify as drivers, like who identifies people who give money over to the car industry for over-engineered, overpriced cars. They voted to take out the bike lanes and combine it with the bus bike lane. Very ill-conceived. What I saw is it means that people are parking their cars in the combined bus and bike lanes, blocking it, often for deliveries or just to go. I think it was just a family getting out of their pretty new SUV and just parked it there and went and had lunch for like 20 minutes. And it means they block the bike and bus lanes. So bikes and buses have to divert onto the traffic now, whereas before it was separated by plastic bollards and flex posts, which is still not infrastructure that protects people. But it at least made drivers kind of scared to run over them because they would scrape their cars. And now the bicyclists and buses have to divert onto traffic with the rest of the traffic in the regular lanes. Because you have this combined bus and bike lane now. So that should solve the traffic problems and make people safe. And cyclists have to divert out into regular traffic with the private vehicles. Anyways, this is all I've been talking about lately on YouTube, but look, I'm doing well. My mom's doing very well. I sent her a bunch of pictures from the Greek festival and from the church. Man, that church is beautiful. The only place I've seen comparable to it is the Thien Hau Temple. It's a Taoist temple in Chinatown in LA, which I don't know when it's open. Like last time or two I was there, I walked by and it wasn't open. But festival like this, it was so uplifting just to be around people. It wasn't even about just because it was a Greek festival. That didn't matter in a way. I mean, it matters because that's what it is, but I'm saying being out at festivals like that, all kinds, different kinds, it's so uplifting. It was very sort of kind to my body. I know that sounds weird, as I'm going through, recovering from DPDR, or DPDR symptoms, I should say, which is absolutely terrifying, but it's completely recoverable. There's nothing damaging about it. To my surprise, I used to think like I had brain damage or something from it. Like oxygen is being choked off in my brain and producing all these strange symptoms and cognitive distortions. I do deep breathing to relax. I'm also just too worn out. I pushed myself. I really want to stay there so late, but it's like, no, that's kind of trying to escape. What I'm going through is go home, try and sleep well. I'm even being too tense now. I should slow down my speech. Relax. And this street sucks for trying to cross. Where can pedestrians cross? Maybe half a mile down the road there. And then in this way, another quarter of a mile. And you got it. See, all this people competing for traffic. Another scooter coming by, and now traffic in the other direction. And I hope no cars hit each other. And oh man, somebody just rode their scooter. Jeez, this is so awful. You got a light all the way down there. A light way down, you could barely see it down there. It's not a people-friendly street. This is what I'm talking about. Why would people be out? It's just for cars to drive through, even though it's someone's neighborhood. Anyways, I am beat. Maybe I'll take a shower, but I encourage people to open their minds up by searching for info on what people-oriented streets can mean, where you can get around without having to compete with this. Just hundreds of cars designed our cities, and people literally can't conceive, and I couldn't. How do you get around without a car? When people used to say, I used to see it online, they'd say every parking lot is an design failure. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I like challenging convention, but I'm like, well, but then where do you park if you don't have a parking lot? I didn't get, oh no, you don't park, or you don't park a car. You take a train, a bus, you ride a bike, you walk, because neighborhoods are built to be more dense, like in many parts of the world, and some parts of North America. And you get people around so much more efficiently. This is something I've been really passionate about lately, because I'm like, oh, I see the potential for this city to be so much more livable. And people who instinctively, reflexively, embarrassingly defend their car use don't understand you will love it. Even if you continue to drive, you will love an urbanist environment, because it means driving is so much better, safer. You can get to where you need to go more quickly. The roads are in better condition. You're not with this. Hundreds of cars. I am ready to pass out. Oh yeah, and I forget, I said, yeah, I danced for a little bit. My legs were just cooked. So I should slow down, but it was very, very nice, very uplifting. Also, good luck to this young woman I met there. She literally had a sign pinned to her back. I should post it on my channel posts. And I stopped and asked her, like, hey, do you mind? I'm not trying to blow up your picture, but can I take a picture of it? it said, "I'm looking for a Greek boyfriend. Please don't, like, say hi. Don't be shy." And she was there with her friend, and me and my friend talked to her for a little bit. And I was just talking, like, I wanted to hear her out, like what she's doing here. I wasn't trying to, approach her like that. Nothing wrong with that. She wanted people to. But then when we were doing that, another guy did. He took a picture. And I was like, "Oh, you got a fan right there." And he's like, "Yeah, hi, I'm single. I'm Greek." Like, and they exchanged numbers right there. And so we were talking to her friend too, and her friend's like, "Yeah, like, I really need her to get a boyfriend. Like, she's been swiping on Tinder for so long." So I want to say good luck to her. And yeah, I'll post the picture on not of her face, but of her back with the sign. And I asked permission. She was happy to. And I was like, "Cool, good idea." I said, not all Greek guys are great. Like, don't necessarily invite all of them to approach you. But I'm sure everybody here has good intentions and they're decent enough, right? But she had her friend too to help with the judgment call of that. But no, I think environment, you can never say. It's just I assume the positive, assume good vibes, and people use their judgment. This is so much of LA. Cars. No, people are just cars. So let's change it. We got an election coming up. Where am I going? We got local elections, national election. Got people parking right here. And we could have such a more livable environment. What people who reflexively defend themselves as car drivers don't understand is I'm talking about the built environment we've created and the alternatives that are so much better. Look at how other cities have metro systems, walkable streets. They're not perfect, nowhere is, but look at Tokyo is like a big one, London, Istanbul. There are places in South America, Mexico City, Moscow, Singapore, where else? China has tons of high-speed rail and metro systems. Again, none of these places are perfect. You will find lots of problems with traffic there and inadequate pedestrian and bike infrastructure. Oh, the Netherlands, that's a big one. But also many parts of Europe, because Europe is so old. A lot of the streets are narrow and the buildings are old and built to be more dense, so you could walk to where you need to go. That's a beautiful thing, when you can just walk in your neighborhood and find people out and shops and like a healthy atmosphere and joyous streets. That's what the Greek festival was like. No cars there. It's just, there was a van that delivered ice, but there were just people out. And when you make for streets that are open for people, people fill them up. That tells you how joyous people-powered streets are. So I encourage you, seek out the progressive candidates in your local elections. They make a huge difference. Who will push for more public transportation, denser housing, affordable housing, bike lanes, bike infrastructure, metro services, free public transportation. Again, if we can have all this free parking, that's just a waste. It's just sinking money into the oil and gas and car industries. We can actually make the investment of public transportation, which yields benefits to us in terms of people going to their jobs, paying more in taxes, people being able to apply to jobs because they can take the bus and train around or ride bikes around, better health outcomes, less traffic deaths. About 100 people a day die in America, more than that if it's keeping on pace for the last few years, where it was like 40-some thousand people a year dying. People don't think about that. You just think like, oh, that's just bad drivers. They watch videos of bad drivers and think, oh, that's a bad driver, that's a bad driver, that's a driver who shouldn't have a license. Well, what about when people don't need to drive everywhere? Because there are a lot of people who shouldn't be driving, but it's not just that. It's these problems happen on roads that are designed for speed. They don't happen nearly the same in places where the roads are designed for everyone to share, where you see that in like the Netherlands and Japan. And again, nowhere's perfect, but places like that where they've been designed intentionally to be more people friendly. and where you can get around without a car. There's a solution. You want to stop drunk driving? How does it make sense to have a parking lot right next to a bar and no other way to get around there? Think about it. Don't think in terms of just finding the wrongdoers and punishing them. We'll never be able to do it. It's already failed. Think about it in terms of prevention, and you will love it. We will love it. So that's my uplifting message to you all. I'm still doing lots of writing, screenwriting, even kind of little research or inspiration, you could say, at the Greek Festival, because I am writing something inspired by that general idea. Just keep it vague, just because I don't like to get specific about, early ideas for screenplays. And yeah, be well, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Oh God, my legs are so worn out. I'm gonna sleep well, I hope. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.